Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about some new products from e.l.f. that I have purchased recently, and this was the brand that came in second in my poll, so that's what we're doing today, and you voted for it. Okay, I also have some other e.l.f. products on my face too, and I'm just going to quickly run down what other products I have on because I might as well just give you a very brief description of those other things. I have on the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. This is really good at hiding your pores, and it just really smooths out the skin effortlessly. I do really like the Putty Primer too, but that is more of, to me, that's more like a hydrating thing. It does smooth your pores, but not to the extent that this does. So if pores are your issue, I would go with this. If hydration is your issue, I would go with the Putty Primer, but that will benefit your pores to a certain extent as well. If you've never tried the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation, I'm in the shade Natural. This is an excellent foundation, and it's only like $6, I think, and it's just really nice. It gives you as much coverage as you want or need without ever getting cakey or anything like that, and it blends out really well. They've increased their color selection or shade selection, so now I think there's pretty much a shade for everybody. They were driving me crazy there for a while though, because they changed their shade range twice with this foundation. My color used to be porcelain, and then it was something else, so now it's natural, but I guess, I shouldn't complain, because that's great that they wanted to add in more shades or correct the name, because I feel like natural suits me better than porcelain does, because porcelain would indicate that I would be super, super light, and I'm really not. Like when you look at foundation shades, there's, excuse me, there's extra light, light, medium, medium, deep, deep. I'm the second one up. I'm just plain old light, not extra light, so porcelain, that name doesn't really fit that color. Okay, I'm going to talk about and show you these things in the order in which I apply them to my face. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is their new concealer. And it's the Hydrating Camo Concealer, as opposed to the other one, which is more about coverage and is more suited to a oily skin type. So if you liked the Camo concealer when you tried it, but you thought, oh, this formula is just too dry on my skin, then this is your alternative. So and again, e.l.f. does things like this. They completely changed the shade range. In the original Camo concealer, I was medium peach, which is kind of strange because, like I said, I have light skin, not medium skin. But yeah, I had to buy that concealer 3 times before I finally got the right shade. When I saw this range, I was like, oh, they completely changed it. So in this, I'm Fair Beige, which is one of the very lightest ones. So I don't know if eventually they're going to change the shade range in the original Camo concealer to this shade range. I have no idea, but Fair Beige is my color in this concealer. So this is what I have on today, and this is really great for somebody that has really bad noticeable dark circles. This, I have to be honest though, this is not my favorite concealer of everything I've ever tried. My favorite one is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh one. Why? Because I get the coverage I want with that, but the formula is creamier and blends into my skin to the point where you can't even tell that there's anything there. So it's very lightweight and just blends into nothing, but the coverage is there. This is also very good, but when I'm done blending it in, I can kind of see like a layer of it there, even with the correct shade. But if the ColourPop one didn't exist, this would be my second choice, definitely. This is an excellent concealer, and it's just that it's heavier. That's why I don't like it quite as much as the ColourPop one, because the ColourPop one is just very creamy and blends into nothing. This is not going to blend away. It's more like a layer on your skin. But once it sort of settles in, and if you are the kind of person that just puts a very light dusting of powder on your makeup to just kind of set everything, you won't be able to tell that it's there. And it definitely covers up my dark circles really well. I mean, you can still see a little bit here, but it's definitely a very, very good product. This was $6 and I found it at Walmart. Okay, the next e.l.f. product that I have on is this. This is from, oh, no, skipped over something. This is the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder. This is a white powder. So it's not going to be for everybody. I wouldn't even try this if you are medium to deep. But if you're extra light to light, you might really like this. However, I don't think this would probably be good for flash photography. So if you're into taking selfies, this will most likely give you a white cast. But for everyday life or in a video, it should be fine. And it's really gonna neutralize and help with redness, and it sets your foundation really nice. It's very light on the skin. It's not drying, and it has kind of an odd texture to it. If you're somebody that touches your face throughout the day, you might not like the way it makes your skin feel, but I feel like it really blends in and sets my foundation really well. And other products layer very nicely over it. Okay, now we're going to talk about this. This is the Sunkissed Bronzer, and this I've only seen at Target. This is only $3, so very inexpensive, but it's a nice all-over bronzer. It does have very subtle gold shimmer in it, so I have it as my contour, and then I do the perimeter of my face with it, and it's just a very natural bronzer that works really nice with light skin tones. I don't think that would be deep enough for anybody that was darker than light. I have the e.l.f. Primer Infused blush, and this is in the shade Always Rosy. A lot of people have asked me about this when they see that if I wear it in a video, what do I think of it? I do really like this. And there is actually one more shade of this that I might pick up at some point. The other colors, though, I don't really care for them, but yeah, I do like this. It has a very nice texture to it, and it's super easy to blend, and it won't go patchy or anything like that. It works and blends well with other products, so I do like that. Okay, the next product is one of the new ones. It is the Putty Eye Primer. And when I had found out about this originally, by the way, I found this at, where did I find this? Ulta, and it's $5. When I had found out about this product originally and I saw the lineup, I thought, there isn't anything color-wise that's going to work for me with my skin tone. This one will work, with some exceptions. So this is what it looks like. This is the shade Rose. I know it doesn't look rose. But I thought I could get away with this, and the texture of it is putty, just like with the Putty Face Primer. What is most impressive about this is if you have any eyeshadows that are not pigmented, or maybe something that's like really inexpensive and you were hoping that it would be deeper and it's not, this is a great thing to use with it, because it's going to make whatever eyeshadows you put over it more pigmented and blend better too. It's an excellent eyeshadow primer, especially for the price point. The fact that it comes in more than one shade is really nice, because, you know, translucent is nice and everything, but really, if you have veining and discoloration on your eyes, translucent is not going to cut it. I have a lot of eyeshadow bases that are translucent, and every time I use them, I always think that to myself, that, you know, I have some like slate color, like sort of a pinkish color sometimes on my eyes, or sometimes you can see a little bit of veining going on. So that's not going to work. You know, you want a nice clean palette to start with without any of those things going on. This is going to give that to you, if you can find a shade that will work with you. Now, the downside about this color, Rose, is it has a very like beige look about it. So this is not the eyeshadow primer that I would reach for if I was going to do something pastel or something very cool tone, because it would alter the color of the shadows, and they wouldn't look as cool, or especially with pastels. Like, I'm going to be reviewing that palette right there in my next video, and that has a lot of light and cool colors in it, and so I don't think that, you know, this would alter it and make it not be that. What else? It's a very nice texture for eyeshadows. I would recommend this if you can find a color that will work for you. But if I was doing warm tones or neutrals, this would be a great eye primer for that. Okay, next is going to be the eyeshadow palette that I have on. This is also one of the new products I'm going to be talking about. This is one of the new bite-size eyeshadow palettes, and this is called Carnival Candy. I found this at Target. These palettes are $3. 4 eyeshadows for $3. Unfortunately, the ones that I was most attracted to, which would be the green one and the purple one, Target does not carry those. The only way you can get those two palettes is to order them from e.l.f.'s website, which I understand why Target would want to carry the more neutral inspired palettes, but it would have been nice if they had at least let us have one of the ones that were like a color. Yeah. What I probably should have done was ordered this, the eye primer, the concealer, and anything else I wanted from the e.l.f. website. I've ordered from their website before. I never had any issues. Everything always came, you know, at a normal amount of time, and it was fine with the delivery, and nothing was broken. So that way I could have gotten the ones that I would have preferred. Not that this is a bad color selection. I mean, basically it's a couple of neutrals with a burgundy and a blue. And so the look I did today is obviously quite heavy and colorful. If you would like to see what this palette looks like with more of an everyday wearable look, check out my social media, because I did post a picture the first time I used this palette, and I went lighter and, you know, something more wearable. I still used all 4 colors, but I just did it in a different way. When I do my makeup for YouTube, a lot of times I like to do it heavier and more dramatic, because Number one, the camera washes the colors out. And number two, I feel like that's what a lot of people want to see, because if I just do something more wearable and everyday, I mean, anybody can do that, right? So this is just a more dramatic version of what I did on my social media. The only difference as far as the color placement goes was I didn't use any blue in the upper outer area in that look. I just dragged some blue along the lower lash line and that was it. And I stuck to these three shades. So let me swatch this for you. There's only 4 shades, so I don't even have to shut off the camera to do this. So those are what the colors look like swatched. So on my eyes, I have this as my brow bone highlight and inner corner highlight, and it just barely works as a highlight shade. So if you're any lighter than I am, then that's going to be too dark for you, and you might want to try it as a lid shade, and then just work some more things into the mid outer portion of your lids. But yeah, it's pretty dark for a highlight. It just barely works for that on me. And then this shade is a very, very warm, like light, almost like pukey brown. baby poop brown. I have that on my lids. And then this burgundy I have in the crease, and then the blue, which takes on this really like luminous finish. I have that dragged along my lower lash line and in the outer portion of my eyes. Now see how it almost got like muddy when I blended it with the other colors? So it doesn't really play well with others. But if you wanted to do like a really bold blue look, you could probably put this all over your lids and get that nice luminous finish that you see there. But if you're trying to blend it with the other shadows, not going to work for that. I mean, it's a completely different finish than the other three. So, would I buy more of these? Hell yeah, they're $3. So I would really like to try the green one and the purple one. However, I have to tell you that if you have sensitive eyes, you might not be completely satisfied with this, because I have sensitive eyes and something about this formula does give me a little bit of a tingly sensation. It's not so bad that I wouldn't wear it, but it's there, okay? So if you have sensitive skin, just be aware that it could irritate you more than just a slight tingly sensation. If you look over here, you see that red right there? That wasn't there before I started my eye makeup. So it did give me a little bit of irritation there. And when I take this off at the end of the day, I might have a little bit of redness left behind. So yeah, something about this formula is not really agreeing with my skin. This was caused from when I was blending everything and then I sort of cleaned it up. I took a makeup wipe and just wrapped it like around my finger, and then, you know, went up in the corners. So it wasn't the makeup wipe that irritated my skin, because I've used this before actually, and actually that redness was there before I even did that. It was from blending the eyeshadow, you know, in those outer portions. It irritated my skin a little bit. So something to keep in mind if you, because you know if you have sensitive skin or not. And then the only other e.l.f. products I have on is I did my brows with the brow pencil and brow gel in Taupe. And the lipstick I have on is the the e.l.f. lipstick in Praline. I really like these lipsticks because they have a tapered tip on them. They blend and apply very easily, and then they have a sharpener built into the other side. And they're, how much are these? Off the top of my head, I don't remember. Somewhere between 3 and 6. Could be as low as 3, could be as much as 6. I don't really remember off the top of my head, but these are really nice stick lipsticks. Nice formula, and I thought this color that I had, Praline, would go good with this eye look. So my final thoughts are, the concealer is really good, but I like my ColourPop one better. So this is like second place in my concealer collection. Love the eyeshadow primer, but this shade wouldn't work if I was doing a cool toned eye look. And then the eyeshadow palette is great, but the blue one that is a different finish than the others didn't seem to want to blend over and with the other colors that are a different texture and formula. And the blue doesn't show that beautiful luminous quality unless you wear it on its own. And then I do get a little bit of irritation from this formula. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.